Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It's March 25th. Have you been outside between newscasts?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous out there.
It's nice.
Yeah, we had the storms earlier. We'll talk to Justin in just a moment. You may not know this, but both Steph and I graduated from college with minors in astrophysics.
Of course. So that's why we're going to talk about black holes this morning.
No, this stuff is way over my head. There are new images out of a black hole, and it's got tongues wagging in the scientific and the astrophysics community.
That's because it is revealing extreme magnetic fields. So in the headline, using polarized light, researchers with the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration revealed the environment close to the famous Mammoth black hole.
Yeah, so this is a famous black hole that was first captured, the imagery. It's called the Messier 87 galaxy black hole. It's about 53 million light years from Earth. It was caught, the imagery, a couple of years ago as a powerful new way to study the behemoth cosmic beast and put some of the most interesting astrophysics theories to the test. Well, this one, as you're seeing right here, that is not an artist's impression. This is new imagery from the Event Horizon Telescope of the black hole bathed in polarized light.
Super massive black hole at the center of M87 has slowly been giving up its secrets, and as astrophysicists have combed through the huge amount of data generated by the EHT.
So Wednesday, this new imagery and data came out, this collaboration. One of these really super smart people that are involved in this project, Andrew Chale, he's an astrophysicist at Princeton, said, quote, "The newly publicized polarized images are key to understanding how the magnetic field allows the black hole to eat matter and launch powerful jets," end quote.
Interesting.
It's the first time a team has been able to measure polarization right up close to the edge of a black hole, which pretty much eats any particles or matter in its path.
Yeah, eats matter. Still sounds scary.
And real quick, this Event Horizon Telescope isn't really a single telescope. It's 8 different Earth-based telescopes located around the world combined to grab this kind of imagery from deep, deep space.
All right. Also known as EHT when we refer to that.
That too.
Let's go ahead and look at today's 9 at 9.
The suspect in the Boulder, Colorado mass shooting will appear in court for the first time today. 20-year-old Ahmad Alissa is facing 10 charges of first-degree murder.
President Joe Biden will hold his first press conference as president today. Members of the media are expected to ask him about the border crisis, the pandemic, and the recent mass shootings in Colorado and Georgia.
The Pentagon says GMSA Lackland will be used to house unaccompanied migrant children. This after the Department of Defense approved a request made by the Department of Health and Human Services last night.
President Biden appointed Vice President Kamala Harris to lead the White House efforts to tackle the border crisis. She will also work with Central American countries to address root causes of the problem.
A new AstraZeneca report uses updated data on its COVID-19 vaccine. The company says their shot is 76% effective in preventing symptomatic disease. That's slightly lower than the 79% it had reported earlier this week.
North Korea test-fired its first ballistic missile since President Biden took office. Japan's prime minister says these tests threaten peace and safety in Japan.
The CEOs of Facebook, Twitter, and Google will appear before 2 House subcommittees today. The hearing will focus on social media's role in promoting extremism and misinformation.
The torch relay for the Tokyo Olympics began its journey across Japan today. Some 10,000 torchbearers will travel through the country with the flame before it reaches its destination at the Olympic opening ceremony on July 23rd.
The NBA trade deadline is today at 2 p.m. and so far the Spurs have not worked out a trade for the departing LaMarcus Aldridge. And that's today's 9 at 9. David and RJ be back a little bit later on to talk about that. Did he get traded in the last 10 seconds, David? No.
Okay, they'll talk about that. And also they'll talk about the Clippers tonight.
Enthusiasm. No. Yeah, more on that coming up for sure.
Let's go ahead and look outside with live cam. We're looking at about 58, 59 degrees right now, but it's nice, Justin.
It is nice. It wasn't pretty last night in regards to the Spurs and the weather, but
True.
things have improved quite a bit. Today, we've got clear skies now, a little bit of wind out there with the frontal boundary that moved through. and we'll see a pretty nice day today. We got clear skies at this hour. Want to show you the observed rainfall around the area last night. We didn't get much here in San Antonio, only 0.02 of an inch. Some better numbers, though, as you get up towards Bandera, Lakey, Rock Springs, over 0.5 inch. Bernie, about 0.3 of an inch. So that's where a lot of the action was last night. We did get a few severe reports, some larger hail around Lakey. But again, everything's pushed well east today. Pollen count, Oak, at its highest level we've seen so far this season. Still only moderate, though. It hasn't been, the numbers haven't been huge, but it is trying to jump up. Hackberry's moderate. Mold and Mulberry also showing up today. Your forecast, lots of sun, beautiful weather, northerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll be up around 78 this afternoon. If you didn't get a lot of rain with this last system, there's hope. We've got another chance coming up on Sunday. We're going to detail that and talk about timing and temperatures here in just a few minutes. Guys.
Thank you very much, Justin. As I said, it is a beautiful morning out there right now. Look at all that sunshine. The roads are now drying out, especially the main lanes of 35 at Evans, and there's I-37 at Fair Avenue.
Top stories we are following today. Stanton police are asking for your help in searching for a man who was last seen just after 7 last night.
Stanton police say 83-year-old Charles Bud Wright was last seen in a white 2016 Nissan Rogue license plate 9HRCX at the Martin County Hospital in Stanton. If you're wondering where that is at, it is northeast of Midland. Wright has black hair, blue eyes, was wearing a red plaid short sleeve shirt and blue jeans. If
you have seen him or have any information about where he might be, you're asked to call the Stanton Police Department, and that number is 432-756-3303. More
COVID-19 vaccine appointments are about to become available right here in Bexar County.
And even though Texas is expanding vaccine eligibility to all adults on Monday, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg says these appointments are still only for teachers, healthcare workers, and people 50 and older, and people 16 and older with chronic health conditions. So Metro Health is opening 30,000 slots for people needing their first dose. The appointments are between April 6th and May 1st at the Alamo Dome.
You can register online starting at 7 o'clock tonight on Metro Health's COVID-19 vaccine registration website. People without internet access can call 311 during regular business hours to make an appointment.
And University Health is launching a vaccine registry for people 80 and older today. The registry was created to help the vulnerable population get access to vaccines as the state expands eligibility.
Allows people 80 and older to enter their information online at universityhealthsystem.com. They will then be contacted by someone from University Health by phone when an appointment is available.
And right now on KSAT.com, 5 tips to get your COVID-19 vaccine appointment. We spoke with 2 women who have spent their free time helping to get hundreds of people signed up for appointments. You can read about their advice and find much more vaccine information on our website, ksat.com/vaccine.
As we briefly mentioned in the 9 at 9, President Joe Biden will hold his first formal news conference of his presidency this afternoon.
It comes more than 2 months after he was sworn in later into the presidency than his 15 most recent predecessors. The Associated Press reports President Biden waited to do his first press conference until he could use it to celebrate the passage of the nearly $2 trillion COVID-19 relief package. He will likely face scrutiny from reporters on gun control and immigration issues.
The president is set to speak around 12:15. We'll take that news conference live during our noon newscast.
In your morning headlines, new jobless claim numbers are encouraging, and a maskless party has some people in Hawaii pretty upset.
A cat rescue that really wasn't a rescue, but a fisherman in the Ukraine pulled off an impressive rescue. David Sears is here with more on that.
This is right up your alley because you love to fish.
I do.
This is a little different catch coming up. It's not one you would mount on the wall.
Okay.
Put it that way.
You got my attention.
All right. And we're going to start with some good news this morning. Jobless claims from last week down to 684,000. That is a drop of nearly 100,000 from the week before, and it's the lowest number since the pandemic caused havoc on workers and businesses a year ago. And more good news. After a revision, the GDP grew at a rate of 4.3% during the last quarter of 2020, better than previously reported. Hundreds of folks lining different streets in Boulder, Colorado, as the body of fallen police officer Eric Talley was transported to a funeral home yesterday. The 51-year-old father of 7 was the first officer on the scene of that mass shooting in Boulder and gave his life to try and save others. He was one of 10 people killed in that grocery store shooting. His patrol vehicle parked outside of the police station and has become a memorial to Talley and his sacrifice.
This is my community. I've been in Colorado 30 years, and I don't know, I just felt compelled to be here.
Hundreds also gathered at the courthouse square last night to come together as a community and mourn the loss of all 10 victims in a candlelight vigil. All right, let's take it to Hawaii for a big party, and from the looks of things, pretty much a maskless party going on. It was a concert. There were about 500 people there to jam to the sounds of Grammy-nominated rapper Sway Lee. Health protocols in Hawaii call for social distancing, no gatherings of more than 10 people, and mask wearing. However, the organizer says they did take temperatures at the door. The event promoter didn't seem to have a problem with it, but a member of an organization in Hawaii that brings attention to those not following the rules is not happy.
It was a couple people in there that wasn't wearing masks. You know, we rock stars, so like, we want people to see our face and see us lit, and then they want to do whatever we do, you feel me? And we just all having a good time vibing. Like, I don't feel like it was really nothing that's a safety hazard.
Honestly, I have no words. As a COVID survivor, it makes me sick to my stomach that these people don't care about the people of Hawaii.
The promoter says he has plans for more parties. All right, let's come back here, take it to Florida. That is a cat right there hanging from this pole. It's connected to a slab that holds up a bridge over the Intercoastal Waterway in Fort Lauderdale. At first, it looked like the cat was stuck. The Florida Department of Transportation called in, blocked off 2 lanes of traffic. Marine Patrol blocked off the traffic on the water. They ended up getting at a cherry picker and got close to the cat. Then watch what the cat does as they get real close. Psych. I'm not stuck. I'm just hanging out. It was a nice place to sit. Cat took off. Wasn't in any danger. After a while, it was spotted hanging out under another pole near the bridge. Leave it alone. It'll look for food later. Find a mouse or something. And finally, that is a young boy floating on a block of ice. He's out in the river. This is in the Ukraine. Got no idea how he got out there, but the air temperature was about 32, so you know the water was really cold, so swimming was out of the question. A fisherman on the bank got creative. He added some weight to his line, then cast the line to the boy. He got a hold of the line and reeled him in. The kid didn't even get wet when he stepped off the ice onto the bank.
Wow.
Now, how about that for creativity? And the amazing thing is he threw the line out there and right at the kid, and the kid caught it.
And he caught it.
Yeah, right on target. So the only risk there was what kind of line is he using?
Yeah.
And will the pole hold up? But it sounds like everything worked out just fine.
It was probably more than like 5-pound test line.
Yeah, it was probably more than 5-pound test. Probably 15 or 20
If you're a fisherman,
test.
you know, it's just like the weight that a fish can.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad it worked out. Glad he's okay.
He was right on.
Pretty good.
Snag the kid, for sure. Thank you, David.
All right.
Right now, it's about 11 minutes past the hour, and we are at 58 degrees.
The pandemic changed restrictions on the sale of alcohol, allowing restaurants to sell alcohol on the go. Now, allowing restaurants to do this could become permanent in Texas. We're going to talk to Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune about the future of this legislation.
A 1-hour investigative special airing tonight takes a look at the downfall of former Precinct 2 Constable Michelle Barrientos Vela. Our Dylan Collier joins us live here in the studio to tell us what we can expect from this special coming up after the break.
And welcome back. It's about 9:15. Michelle Barrientos Vela, she was the controversial constable of Bexar County Precinct 2. Now she's facing a criminal trial for charges connected to her time in office.
But tonight at 9, her attorneys tell the KSAT 12 defenders that law enforcement got it wrong.
She maintains her innocence. That has not changed from the first day we've met with her and what we've reviewed so far.
But her criminal attorneys, Nico LaHood, former Bexar County DA, and Patrick Ballantyne, agreed to speak with their client sitting next to them.
I mean, she did the job that she could at the time with knowledge and information she had.
As for the criminal charges,
we were prepared to deal with them one at a time.
Like felony aggravated perjury in the arrest of Deputy Leonicio Moreno for ironically aggravated perjury.
Perjury is one of the more difficult white-collar crimes to actually prove up. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that whatever the alleged false statement was actually false. You have to prove that the person making it knew it was false at the time they were making it, and you have to show it was in connection with an official proceeding. Those are a lot of elements.
And that's just part of Downfall, a one-hour investigative special that pulls back the curtain on Precinct 2, the problems that led to the removal of Barrientos Vela and her current legal troubles. Problems exposed by years of exclusive reporting by our own Dylan Collier, who joins us live here in the studio this morning. Good morning, Dylan.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Well, Dylan, what are we going to see tonight?
What you're going to see is sort of everything that we've done in terms of reporting the last 3.5 years put together. So we've reported on sort of this targeted harassment of Leonicio Moreno. You're seeing some of it there where he was forced to turn over his department firearm. And we would report on these things as they happened or when we found out about them. But now that the dust has sort of settled on her tenure and you put it all together, I think you really see what she did to folks like this and other folks that work for her, and then also people in the community that encountered her between 2017 and the end of 2019.
Barrientos Vela has previously claimed that she is being targeted for another reason?
Well, she's always put this claim out there that she fought against the good old boy system, that she was elected in 2016, took office in 2017, and would not take part in what she called widespread corruption throughout the county involving other elected officials. The issue with her making that claim, which she has done for years now, is that she's never provided one iota of evidence that there is sort of widespread corruption among other offices. And what we've done is given her a chance to explain herself, to provide this so-called evidence that she has, and then here we are in 2021, and we've still never seen any evidence of widespread corruption.
And Dylan, we understand there's some new material coming out that the public has not seen, including some back and forth between you and the ex-constable.
Yeah, and these encounters sort of grew in popularity in 2019 when she would do these press conferences in front of the courthouse. And, you know, it was us just trying to get answers to questions. We had done a number of investigations, uncovered a lot of problems within Precinct 2, and she would not respond to us. Sometimes she would put a post on Facebook, and then she would do these press conferences, which we would of course attend, and instead of answering our questions, it would sort of escalate into, you know, a back and forth, which we'll sort of all put on a timeline and show you tonight. I think another thing too that people are going to see is that incident at Rodriguez Park in Easter 2019 was really one of the things that led to her downfall. It's part of the criminal indictment against her, but there were concerns about her activities at Rodriguez Park going back much earlier in her tenure, a story that we had worked on as far back as the summer of 2018, and you're going to see some of what we had gathered undercover in the summer of 2018, which has never been out there before.
Dylan, we understand Defenders just launched a newsletter. What is it and how can folks sign up for it?
Yeah, it's a chance for folks that are interested in our investigations to get an up-close look at what we do. They'll have prior notice for when these investigations are going to be launched. You're also going to get to see a lot of the folks who contribute to our investigative unit that aren't necessarily the face or the person who presents the information. We have a lot of talented folks here at KSAT that contribute to this, and the best way to do that is just to go to ksat.com. There's a newsletters tab at the top of the page. Click there, and then you just enter your email address, and we'll deliver the investigations right to you.
All right, Dylan, thanks for joining us in Downfall tonight at 9.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dylan, very much. Again, more of that coming up. We can't stay up for it, but I'm going to record it tonight and check it out tomorrow.
I know. I was just talking to Dylan about it. I was like, I'll watch it on the website.
Our hours don't quite fit with your efforts, Dylan, but thank you anyway for being here. 9:19, we said it's turned into an absolutely beautiful Thursday out there, and Justin here is here to attest to that.
Yeah, it was a busy night. We had some showers and storms, but everything is cleared out now, and it is going to be a gorgeous day. Not a lot of rainfall here in San Antonio, unfortunately, but folks in the Hill Country did get a good dose of showers and storms overnight. Take a look at some of the rainfall totals. 0.6 of an inch in Bandera, 0.44 Kerrville, about 0.3 in Bernie, and a lot of that fell within the recharge zone. So that's going to help the aquifer a little bit. But this was a corridor where most of the heavy rain fell, and thankfully, not a lot of severe weather reports. We had some larger hail around Lakey, some reports of large hail around Austin, but that was about the extent of it. And a lot of this rain moved just north of Bexar County. So at the airport, we only picked up about 0.02 of an inch. Take a look at some of the weather headlines we have going forward. Sunny and breezy today. We're looking for a lot of severe weather across the southeastern portion of the country this afternoon. There's expected to be a tornado outbreak. We'll detail that here in just a second. And then we'll have another chance for rain coming up Sunday. So if you didn't get any rain last night, there are more chances. And I think Sunday's probably, we're going to have a pretty good shot at some showers and storms. 57 right now at Boulevardy, 54 in Bernie Stage, 60s, close to it here in Bexar County, 61 Carrizo Springs, 64 right now in Kennedy. Winds have let up some. We had some gusty winds with that front as it came through, but now the winds are mainly relegated to the coast, where we're seeing some gusts to 30 there in Victoria. Still a few gusts up around 20 here around San Antonio, but the winds should start to calm a little bit this afternoon. We'll get up to close to 77, 78 for a high today. Northerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, and you can see the cloud cover is shifting out. We've got plenty of sun. Notice all the showers and storms, though, still ongoing across parts of East Texas, Mississippi, Alabama. This is where it is going to be a very, very busy day. Outbreak of severe weather likely today. We talked about this last week. There was a high risk across the southeastern portion of the country. You see that maybe once every 3 years. We've got it again today. So twice here in a couple of weeks. And we're talking about long track tornadoes, very large hail, destructive winds in places like Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, Chattanooga, Tennessee, all the way up to Nashville. So this is going to be a really busy day for those folks. Hopefully, you know, the severe reports stay at a minimum, but we'll keep an eye on it. I think that there is going to be quite a bit of strong storms and severe weather there. That's around 10 o'clock, and you can see the line of storms that's going to develop along that frontal boundary that moved through our neck of the woods. Tomorrow will be nice for us, and then Saturday we'll start to get more clouds. Moisture comes back in, and then as we get into Sunday, we have a frontal boundary around, and that should give us some showers and storms. Looks like those rain chances are going to hang around into Sunday afternoon. So hopefully the rain totals will be a little bit better than with this last system. 85 tomorrow, 85 on Saturday, 10% chance of a shower or storm, but our best chance will be Sunday, 40% chance of rain. And then clearing out some on Monday. We have some more chances showing up middle part of next week. So the pattern is becoming more active, and it's also very spring-like in the sense that we're getting storms and a little bit of severe weather, guys.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Justin.
923, about 60 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, she's a trailblazer in the NBA, and in honor of Women's History Month, we are celebrating Becky Hammon. We take a look at how her career started after the break.
926 from Women's History Month. We've been telling stories of women who have broken barriers.
And that's the case of local trailblazer Becky Hammon. Last year, she became the first woman to coach an NBA team during a regular season game. Now, Hammon is from South Dakota and was considered to be the best high school player in the state. She then played at Colorado State, where she truly started making an impact.
New York later took a chance on her, and she became an all-star player for the Liberty. Hammond was traded to the San Antonio Stars in 2007, and 2 years later led the Stars to the WNBA Finals.
It was their confidence, you know, and her fearlessness. She's always had that leadership, and I don't think, if she got into coaching, I don't think there was any doubt in my mind that she would be successful at it.
After multiple All-Pro seasons, Hammon retired in 2014. Months later, she made history by becoming the first full-time female assistant coach in the NBA, or in NBA history, with the Spurs.
Tomorrow on GMSA, we'll hear from Spurs players and coaches about the impact that Becky Hammon has had on the organization.
And time now is 9:27. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Yeah, speaking of the Spurs and last night's game, despite being booed every time he touched the ball, Kawhi Leonard led the Clips to a huge victory over the Silver and Black last night. David and RJ join us to discuss what they can do better when they face the Clips again tonight.
A new nonprofit is asking who's next. Just ahead on GMSA at 9, why WWE superstar Bill Goldberg is now teaming up with a nonprofit in Bernie to help veteran-owned businesses.
Texas Republicans are pursuing legislation that would further tighten the state's already restrictive voting rules and, according to the Texas Tribune, raise new barriers for some voters. We're going to talk to Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune about these new voting restrictions next.
As vaccination efforts continue across the country and across the state, in Dallas, county employees are organizing registration events in underserved neighborhoods there.
And the pandemic changed restrictions on the sale of alcohol, allowing restaurants to sell alcohol on the go. Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune joins us to talk about how this could become permanent in Texas. Good morning, Alana.
Good morning.
New on the Trib this morning in Dallas, a city that's more than 40% Hispanic. Vaccination efforts in the Hispanic community are falling short. County employees have organized registration events in some underserved neighborhoods in that city. How have they stepped up, and is it working?
Yeah, I mean, this is just one example, a big example, of course, citing the diversity in Dallas and other major cities like San Antonio and whatnot across the state, where the vaccine inequities are very evident. And you have Hispanic city, county workers and other grassroots activists trying to meet these people where they are. It's a multifaceted approach. They, as you mentioned, the registration events, trying to, address the digital divide, people who either don't have the internet or savvy or intimidated by signing up online. So they're addressing that. They're also addressing the fact that a lot of these mass vaccination sites have not been near the Hispanic neighborhoods. So they're bringing them, bringing the shots to them and also arranging ride shares to get people to where the shots are. And then, of course, addressing misinformation and making sure this community, along with others, trust the vaccine and, know the science in order to decide whether or not they want it.
And Alana, now to the legislature, where Texas Republicans are pursuing legislation that would further tighten the state's already restrictive voting rules and raise new barriers for some voters. Are these new voting restrictions, as the Tribune writes, part of GOP's, quote, work to protect their hold on power?
I mean, they've had a hold on state power for 20 years, but they've seen some of that slip away, particularly in the suburbs where, Democratic leaning city strongholds have spilled out into the suburbs, and Republicans, once strongholds are no longer. But this is more of a reaction, it seems, to 2020, when a lot of local jurisdictions made it easy and accessible and safe to have people vote in the midst of a pandemic. So you saw in Harris County drive-through voting. You saw a lot of advertising about mail-in ballots, whether or not fear of contracting COVID qualifies as a disability. So now in this sweeping legislation, people with disabilities would have to prove that they cannot get to the polls before they can get a mail-in ballot. No more drive-through voting if this is passed. Several different restrictive provisions as a result. And the governor says it's in the name of election integrity, but others say that there are other more pressing issues for them to address.
Allowing restaurants to sell alcohol to go could become permanent in Texas if a bill advancing in the state capitol becomes law. The House gave the measure initial approval Wednesday. That legislation still has a ways to go before it gets to Governor Abbott. But given how historically restrictive our state has been with liquor, do we think he'll sign it?
Well, I mean, he initiated this last May as a result of, people not dining out and wanting to help both consumers who were looking to maybe get alcohol to go and the restaurant industry have this revenue stream coming in. Very popular. It was supposed to expire, and it's kind of stuck around. So now, with bipartisan support, lawmakers are trying to put it in the law books. And again, given Abbott's support initially and seeing the widespread support from Texans, I think if the bill doesn't have any sneaky things in it when it gets to his desk attached, then he'll sign it.
All right. Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it's about 58 degrees, Justin, right?
Yeah, we're on our way up, close to 60 now. Close to 60. It's beautiful after what was a pretty busy night last night. Now, we didn't get much here in San Antonio, so it wasn't like the last storm system where you may have got woken up by some thunder, but we did get some rain up across the hill country, and it's cooler now behind a frontal boundary. So let's take a look at some of the numbers. It's 36 up there in Amarillo, 35 Lubbock. We're at 58 here in town. It feels crisp and somewhat cool out there. Now, it will warm up into the 70s this afternoon, but some drier air has worked its way in. And looking at satellite picture, you can see where all the clouds are now moving into far east Texas. We've lost the cloud cover. We'll see lots of sun this afternoon. One problem we will have, not here, but off to the east, will be the threat of severe weather. Another very, very busy day with regards to severe weather across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. You're probably going to see a lot about this later tonight with the possibility of some large tornadoes there. We'll be up around 78, sunny skies, northerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And we do have another chance for rain. That's coming up Sunday, a decent chance, in fact. We'll detail that here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. New at 9, Veterans Helping Veterans. A new nonprofit based in Bernie aims to give a helping hand to veteran-owned small businesses.
Its mission is to promote these businesses while providing educational opportunities through the guidance of its network of veterans. Our Alicia Beretta visited Bernie to learn more about how this nonprofit got started.
On top of running one of the newest and most popular restaurants in Bernie, owner and chef of Compadres Hill Country Cocina, Mark Sierra, has helped start a new partnership to give back to the people who served our country.
The name is Task Force VOSBO, veteran-owned small business organization.
The Army veteran serves as the president of the nonprofit.
I believe there's a lot of times there's a fear of diving into opening up a business, right? You get a lot of veterans that come in from combat, and all walks of life in the military, right? They've already done their time, they've already done their service, but a lot of us still have that drive where we need to be up front, right? We need a task.
The nonprofit aims to help veterans like Ben Wanzer.
And we always stick together as veterans. So.
Wanzer is an Army veteran and owner of Right Way Cleaning.
And it's an exterior cleaning business. We do windows, building washes, concrete, a lot of pressure washing.
After nearly 4 years in the cleaning business, Wanzer says the nonprofit is guiding him on how to expand his services from residential to commercial clients.
It's not only great for just guidance and help from the guys, but it's also great for networking. There's a multitude of businesses in this group, and we can all benefit from each other.
And even though he's never won to tag team in the ring, professional wrestling superstar Bill Goldberg has entered this group as a special advisor.
What I've done with my career in the past is to raise awareness.
As a business owner himself, Goldberg hopes his experience will facilitate the process for local veteran-owned businesses.
They don't know how many resources are at their fingertips, but now this is another one that we can provide for them, but give them an advantage that they really don't have right now. Asked if I can help raise awareness with 5 people, with 10 people, with 100 people, my job's done.
So if you've answered the call to who's next, you can head over to KSAT.com. There we have a link for Task Force VOSBO, their Facebook page to be exact, and that way you can apply to be a member. And this morning I reached out to Mark Sierra with Compadres Hill Country Cocina, and he tells me that so far, just in the past few weeks, 9 veteran-owned businesses have applied to become members of this task force, and they're standing by ready to help even more people. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News. Mark, Steph, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Alicia. Glad they're able to help more people.
Me too. Just about 9:40, and we are at 58 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Kawhi Leonard's return to San Antonio did not turn out great for the Spurs. David and RJ are here to discuss the Silver and Black's big loss. And welcome back. It's 9:43. Tough game for our Spurs as they get roughed. A lot. Yeah, not enough. As they get roughed up by Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers.
It really stinks. The Clippers are still here, and they may be watching in our hotel room.
Kawhi's an avid KSAT watcher.
Yes, Kawhi. Good to see you. David and RJ
got the app.
Breakdown. This one also talk more about the NBA trade deadline and what we can expect, or more importantly, not expect.
Nothing. From us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing
We'll see. Yeah, it'll be an interesting day. Well, where do we start on this one, David?
You know what? I have not
pretty
used
fired
this word
up
yet this season, but I'm about to use this word.
Okay.
It's not a 4-letter word. It's a longer word than
Uh-oh,
that.
okay.
It's embarrassment. I mean, it's starting to be embarrassing. I mean, to lose the way they did last night, 134 to 101. Seriously?
A lot. Yeah.
Come on.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Come on.
I saw that word pop
not
up
gonna
in a lot of comments about the game.
Embarrassing?
Yep.
So I'm not the first to use it?
You're not.
Okay. That's good. I feel better then.
Yeah. And it stings even more since number 2 was back in town, Kawhi Leonard. Now, to go to David's point, I think what is so sort of bad or upsetting about this is that they just fell behind so early. I mean, they were out of this game basically in the first quarter. I think they were down by like 18 points.
It was 38-21 with 1:58 left in the first quarter. Think about that. They give up 38 points and only scored 21, and there's 2 minutes left in the first quarter. So you know it's going to be rough. They cut the lead down to 5.
They did in the second quarter. It was probably their best effort.
Over.
and then let the lead get away from them there at the end of the first half as well. Again, just a rough performance for the Spurs. The Clippers hit 17 threes, Spurs only 7. If my math serves me correct, that means that's a 30-point difference. So
that's good math, RJ.
You're right.
I practiced. I did this before we came on here, but
you didn't use a calculator either.
No, not at all.
But I mean, to be honest, the
just
Clips are a good team.
Well,
this is true.
And we're a young
true.
squad. We've been rebuilding, but you do hope for a little bit more of an effort. And
that's the biggest thing, I think, because the Clippers are one of the better teams, and because, look, even though it's been a few years since Kawhi's been long gone from here, you still want to play well against him. So I think that's what's very upsetting about that, is that it was just not a good effort from the start.
Even if they are good, even if world beaters, you shouldn't lose by 33 in your home court.
That's true.
First of 2 in a row.
Said, so we get him again tonight. Kawhi was resting back-to-backs, but I don't think they're doing that anymore, right? He probably is going to play again tonight.
Let's hope they change their mind.
Well, I have a theory.
Oh,
okay.
Here we go.
I think that we shouldn't boo Kawhi when he visits us, because I think that fuels him to play better, right? So if we stay quiet, maybe you know, he won't do it
cheering for Kawhi. You want us to just sit on our hands.
We'll just be quiet. Yeah.
Don't say his name. Don't boo. Don't even acknowledge he exists.
Like he was never here.
Yeah.
There's some dude on that team that's really good. We don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't know if Spurs fans are gonna ever stop booing him. I mean, they probably should at this point. But it's a good point, Stephanie.
I'll go with it. And that's the thing. I mean, there's so much respect for him and a couple of the other guys on the team that they kind of lose sight, and that's what DeJounte was talking about last night.
You got to just have that respect level for every player that steps onto the floor. So I think we're more focused on the obvious too. Kawhi and Paul George also know who's on the floor and know what they're capable of.
It's the work you put off court. I mean, not on the games, but on trainings. Just work hard and wait for the opportunity, and that's where confidence comes.
Okay, so good talk.
Well, okay, Luka Samanic had himself a nice little game there, 14 points, so we heard from Luka there. Today is the NBA trade deadline, and LaMarcus Aldridge obviously being the biggest name. David, what do you think?
I don't
Spurs
think they're going to trade him because at the end of the day, he's a free agent, so a team can sign him after the Spurs work out their buyout deal, whatever that's going to be. So a team can just straight up sign him and not have to worry about giving up any players or any picks.
I hear sooner than later he may be a starter in Miami or even for the Lakers.
Yeah, those are two of the top teams in the running.
The Lakers' two big guys are sitting out right now, so we'll have to see how that goes. So.
Yeah, don't think that the Spurs will do anything when it comes to in terms to DeMar DeRozan, trying to, of course, figure out whether to re-sign him heading into the offseason, and some other talk of Rudy Gay and guys like that, but I think the Spurs will mostly stand pat, with the exception of this guy.
LaMarcus, we wish you the best. Thank you for everything. And I wish we had a little more time because I wanted to talk a little bit more about potential playoff standing for our Spurs, the way they're playing right now. So we'll delve into that another day.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Well, they dropped to 8.
He's like,
there we go.
We can get into it now if you want.
No.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Tomorrow.
No,
All right, thank you guys.
Go Spurs, go.
Yeah.
Go
Spurs, go.
Yeah, let's talk about the pretty weather now, right?
That's like, over here, look over here. Pretty day.
We're above 500, okay? So, yes, we are an 8th, but we're going to be okay.
You talking about the weather or the Spurs?
Spurs for now. No, we're not above 500 and what? That'd be a little scary. Let's talk about the aquifer. We did get some rain last night over the recharge zone. I've been watching the numbers this morning. They are trying to rise. We're right there at 659. 660 is kind of a magic number in the sense that that's what triggers stage 1. We've been in stage 1 restrictions. SAWS customers have. That hasn't changed. It's still once a week watering. That's probably not going to change for a while as long as we're kind of hovering right around 660. But that's where we are. And the aquifer, hopefully, will get a little bit of a bump from last night's rain. Clear skies right now, and temperatures sitting in the upper 50s, low 60s. Here's the weather headlines. Sunny and breezy today, especially in the morning. The winds will calm down a little bit this afternoon. And then we're also watching for the potential of a large tornado outbreak, not here, but to our east, across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. And then if you didn't get rain last night, we've got good news. There is another chance on the way Sunday. And this actually looks a little more promising for all of us here across the viewing area. Temperatures this hour, 60 in New Braunfels, 59 Bulverde, 54 Bandera, 58 right down Hondo. Feels great outside. 59 in Del Rio, some 60s down to the south, and dew points are low. Winds have calmed some. We're still getting some gusts up around 15, 20 miles per hour, but those are beginning to subside. We had a gust up over 30 earlier this morning initially, but the stronger winds are now along the coast, Victoria down to Bevo. Forecast highs today, upper 70s, close to 80. Dry conditions, sunny skies, just the way you'd like to see it in March. Here is the dew point tracker. So yes, it is dry today and tomorrow. The numbers will jump up significantly Saturday. Then we get a front coming through Saturday night into Monday or Sunday morning. That's what's going to give us rain chances, and we'll see the dew points fall off again early next week. So you look at the satellite picture, giving us the all clear now. Maybe a couple clouds up there around Fredericksburg. Rains just east of Dallas, showers and storms there, eastern parts of Oklahoma. And this storm system, it was dynamic yesterday. It's looking even more impressive today. And there is going to be a widespread outbreak of storms this afternoon. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee under the gun. Another high risk for severe weather. We rarely see these, but we've already had one this year. Now we're getting a second in almost the same area. Long track tornadoes, very large hail, destructive winds, all in play today. So our thoughts go out to those folks as they deal with another round of pretty significant weather this afternoon and tonight. For us, we're going to get quiet conditions today and tomorrow, but moisture returns on Saturday. More clouds, maybe a shower or two on Saturday, although I think it stays pretty quiet. It's Sunday as we get a frontal boundary in place, sort of sinks into the area. We should get showers and storms with that. Right now we have it at a 40% chance. My hope is that we'll get to bump those rain chances up as we get a little bit closer. 85 tomorrow, so a hot day, 85 on Saturday, but cooler behind the front, 70 with that chance of showers and storms. 76 Monday, 80 on Tuesday, and another chance for some showers and storms Wednesday, guys.
We will watch out for that. Thank you, Justin.
9:51. You're watching GMSA at 9.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9. Do you miss going to bars amid the pandemic? Well, Miller Lite wants to help you recapture the experience with bar-scented candles. How the profits of the sale will benefit a good cause.
All right, welcome back. These things are sold out, but really got our attention. Miller Lite now selling bar-scented, or we're selling bar-scented candles.
Yeah, this is for real. So this is the trio of scents. One of them's the dive bar. Okay, you can see right there. The beer garden. And game day aromas are getting the buzz going for the future.
All right, before we tell you what's in them, we'll tell them that they were $20 a pop, and the sales were benefiting the U.S. Bartenders Guild, a nonprofit supporting bartenders and service industry employees. So the game day bar smells like salted peanuts, jalapenos, and cracked leather. The dive bar smells like musk, tobacco, pine, and yeast, like beer yeast.
Don't forget sunburn.
Oh, and yeah, that one's coming up, the beer garden. This is the most varied of smells. Green moss, not just pretzel, warm pretzel.
Okay.
Cracked wood and sunburn.
What does sunburn smell like?
Mike was thinking that it was more like a copper tone smell, but we're not really
Maybe
sure.
an aloe. At least it's for a good cause, right? Have a great day.